Joby, thanks for joining us. You were looking for a reaction. Did you get the response you wanted?
I would say on the whole, yeah. It was a tough afternoon against Exeter, and from my point of view, tonight was all about making sure that was one bad afternoon and not rolling on to 2, 3 or 4. So first and foremost, we've got ourselves back on track. I thought first half in particular we looked bright. We got people into positions that we've worked on in the short space of time we've been able to work on it, getting Kempy in behind the lines. Connor obviously not quite had that end product tonight, which is again a frustrating part of the game for us. Second half they changed it slightly and took us sort of 10-15 minutes maybe for the boys to adjust to that, and then towards the end of the half we obviously had a good couple of opportunities. Obviously Kempy's coming back off the post and Dan's that on another day might have gone in. So overall satisfied with the reaction after Saturday. Yeah.
And I suppose looking back on Saturday, it was so important to keep the clean sheet, particularly for Lawrence Vigouroux, and he made one very good save.
Yeah, like I said then, man, Loz has been absolutely outstanding for us this season, and we look back through the goals and again, a goalkeeper, you probably, as the last action, that's what everybody sees, but there's things we could have done in all the goals a lot further up the pitch. It was 3, 4, 5 mistakes at some points, and we all have a collective responsibility when we concede. So certainly there was no finger pointing at Loz, and again, we know his quality. We've seen it all season, and really pleased for him. And a real good sign that a top player bounces back after a disappointing performance on Saturday.
And you made 3 changes. The one that really stood out, of course, was Dan Johnson on the substitutes bench. Tristan Abrahams with the stars. Yeah,
obviously, from my point of view, goals have been hard to come by, I think, for everybody at the moment. So I just wanted to try and freshen it up there. Tris gives us a slightly different dynamic. Again, we played a slightly different system today with an actual number 10, I suppose, and then the 2 boys off the side of it. So it's important to have that base to build off, which I thought Tris did really well. And again, there's probably a little bit more space towards the end of the game, which unfortunately for Dan hasn't been there, because teams have dropped in and sat a lot deeper and taken that away from us, because he is a big threat going over the top. So again, for us, we've got options in that area. I think it's important that we have competition for places, and again I thought Tris did well, and I thought Dan was positive when he came on.
Earlier in the season he would have put that one away, Dan Johnson, wouldn't he?
Yeah, again I think it's probably just a little sign of where we are at the moment. They're just not quite going in. As you say, probably earlier in the season those half chances were getting taken. At the moment we're obviously not quite being on the right side of those opportunities, but we'll keep working, again in the time that we have got. It has been very limited, the time on the actual training pitches with the games, with the travelling. There's obviously a lot of information we're trying to get into the lads without bombarding them and overloading them. And again, the more we can get positive performances and positive results, as much as we wanted to win today, we hope we got something to build for.
Are you concerned with the lack of chances there were, particularly in the first half?
Yeah, clear-cut chances, because I felt we got into some decent areas without actually going on and making it a final pass or a final cross or shot that really tested the goalkeeper. Clearly, again, it's very obvious that's an area that we have been struggling in. It's something that we really need to look at and try and address.
The target when you took the job was the playoffs. Is it still a target?
Oh, it has to be. Listen, it's a real tight league, and we've shown at previous points of the season, if we can pick up 2-3 wins on the bounce, it gives you a great chance of getting there. But we have to do that. We can't be hoping to do it. It's up to us to go and make it happen. Again, for me, the big thing tonight was an improved performance from Saturday, which I'll be honest probably wasn't too hard. We were dreadful, and no, being serious, we were really disappointed. There was a deep disappointment in that dressing room and around the training ground. And again, for us, that was the first port of call. We've done that and we've improved, but now it's about improving more if we are to get on a run that gets us to anywhere near the playoffs.
Because there have been so few goals of late. You've got a lot of injuries, a number of strikers. Any news on them, the likes of Louis Dennis and Moussa Turio and Lian Goal?
Yeah, Louis' been back running, so we're hoping to get him back. He'll have a full week of training next week. Obviously, we've got a clear week in terms of no midweek fixtures, so that'll be good for him and for everyone, again, to get that bit of time on the training ground. So we will be hoping for him maybe to be involved for the game after that break. The other boys are going to be a little bit longer. As you say, it's an area that we have been affected by. But that's just what we're working with. There's no point sitting here moaning about it. It is what it is. You know, we've got to try and find a way to create more goals, score more goals, because it is an area that we are obviously lacking in at the moment, and have a clean sheet for the boys. And that's why Saturday was so disappointing, because even through the run of not winning enough games, we have been fairly solid. And again, those boys at the back were magnificent tonight.
Your first week in charge, Joby, looking back on those 7 days, have there been any surprises, expectations? What have you learned?
I've learned that whoever said a week's a long time in football is absolutely true, Dave. Bit of everything, really. Obviously, mixed bag. Highs are winning, the absolute lows of obviously Exeter away. But then again, you know, I'm pleased with the response tonight. And listen, it's hard work. Of course, it is. It's from our point of view, hours and hours, and not really switching off. Again, as a player, you can go home and you've done your work, and you know, you can just relax for the rest of the day. Whereas as a manager, you never ever switch off. You're always thinking about formations. You're watching opposing teams. But at the same time, you know, I'm certainly enjoying the ride, and you know, we all want to win games for Leyton Orient Football Club, and we're working ever so hard to do it.
And you're home again on Saturday, Scunthorpe, the visitors. Yeah,
we said it's you know, a big week. We want to take big points this week. Again, tonight we looked at a game that we felt we could have won. I think certainly in coming up on Saturday now, off the back of this, it's a game that, you know, we really got to focus on going to win, to get ourselves back on track in terms of a winning run.
And finally for me, Joby, what changes could you make to create more chances on Saturday?
Well, from our point of view, it's I think just having a little bit more control. Again, the previous 2 games we didn't really get the ball into the areas that we feel are going to be dangerous. You know, there's obviously a balance to be had in terms of maybe throwing more bodies forward, but at the same time you're then going to be at a disadvantage in other areas of the pitch. So listen, it's something that clearly we're aware of, we're working on, and hopefully we can put that right, certainly come Saturday.
Good luck.